David Sutter with you as we get set for the second game of the season, which is technically week 1. I know that confuses people, but we start week 0 in 4A because we play all 9 teams. This week, Plainsmen first road game of the season for head coach Clint Reed, who's by my side. Going to Rock Springs, 7 o'clock kickoff Friday night, and you guys are coming off what I think you would characterize as a not-so-great performance and start for your team. What have you done to fix things this week to try and get yourself going back in the right direction?
Yeah, David, I totally agree. You know, we weren't happy with week 1. We're not satisfied. We don't want that mediocrity to set in. So a lot of what we did was study what we made mistakes on. How can we get better in week 2? What do we need to do as a coaching staff? What do we need to do as players? And that's what we worked on very heavily this week.
Talk about any changes personnel-wise here as you go from your first game to your second game.
You know, there will always be little adjustments and changes. You know, we're looking always at personnel, competition and practice, what can make us more successful on Friday night. Also, it's, you know, based on who you're playing and what their personnel is, we'll make some changes. So there are some things that we're trying this week and tweaking. We'll see what actually sets itself by Friday night.
Were there things, though, that you did do positively, you felt, after watching the film, that you can build on?
You know, there is. And the thing is you'd see when the blocking worked right, the alignment, the assignments were right, big plays happen. That's high school football. Big plays happen, and you're excited to see that. We haven't always had the big play. But again, we got to manage the clock. We got to keep our defense off the field, play together as a team in that way where one phase of the team is helping the other phase. And so if we can't sustain some drives, you know, big plays are great and they're exciting for the crowd, but it doesn't all pan out in the end.
First road game of the season, you're at Rock Springs coming up Friday night. What have you seen? What are you kind of expecting just in general from the Tigers?
You know, it was a little surprising watching film. They're a more spread out team than they were in the single wing. It makes us a little anxious as a staff. You know, you love film, and film's supposed to help you out, but all of a sudden when they decided to change what they're doing, we're not sure. It's like week 0 all the way again for us. We're not sure what to expect Friday night. So we're planning for both, a little single wing and a little spread. We'll see what we get at the start of the game. Impressions
of their personnel, I mean, we don't have to talk specifically, but what'd you kind of glean from their personnel, even though it might have been tough considering how good of a team they were facing last week in Sheridan?
Yeah, just looking at stats, you know, talking to coaches, talking to you, you know, those side conversations. A lot of youth playing right now. We're not sure what's going on, not sure why they stepped it up. Maybe it's a change in philosophy. They want to use some younger kids, not sure where the older kids are and where they fit in the program right now. So again, there's a lot of unknowns going into Friday night.
But still a good football team is going to give you a challenge.
Oh yeah, you have to respect everybody in 4A. Everyone's out there to be physical and compete. So you got to have a lot of respect for everybody, and the same goes here. I hope they do for us because I know they're improving from week to week just as we are.
Talk about your first road trip. Any thoughts going through your mind as you get ready to take this bunch on the road for the first time as a head coach? You know,
you like to play at home. You really like that. But sometimes you just need to get away from the comforts of it all. You know, hit the road, hang out together a little bit, have lunch together, you know, and then get in that different atmosphere. It kind of gets your juices flowing sometimes. You know, the nerves sometimes sit at home with all the family and everybody watching. But you get on the road and you start to forget about that stuff. So we'll just come to play football.
Well, the previous regime first one was on the road in Rock Springs. We'll see if we can duplicate that on Friday night. Good luck to you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you very much, David.
Plainsmen at the Tigers, 7 o'clock kickoff, and my regular broadcast partner is back. Mr. Verdon Hoops and I will have the call on KOWB starting at 6 o'clock, and you can join us on the radio, online at KOWB1290.com, or take the game mobile with Radio Pub.